Are you struggling with feeling disillusioned with your job, where you don't have the same energy and passion and drive that you used to? Are you struggling to concentrate or feel connected with those around you in the work that you do? I'm Caroline Poland, the founder and CEO of Poland & Associates Consulting, and over this series we're going to talk about burnout and ways forward within the workplace that you can protect against burnout and what to do if you find yourself within burnout. So what does this look like in practice? Let's talk a little bit about understanding this balance between demand and resources and what we as employees can do with that to help to create this protective buffer against burnout, or when we find ourselves in this road, how do we even address that and what do we do when we're burning out? So one important step that we can take when we're beginning to understand burnout and burnout prevention and burnout recovery is to begin to look at what resources you have and create a list of those resources. So again, think creatively and bigger picture about what resources mean. These could be very direct resources that are given to you by your job, such as the number of employees under you or the support that you are given to finish a project on time or to stay healthy within the workplace. Those could be very material resources that you need. And resources can also be within us. These can be very internal resources that we bring with ourselves, no matter what situation we find ourselves in. So this could be something like our nervous system awareness and regulation, our perceptions of threats and how we face those threats. So again, if you're interested in that, I will link my trauma and the nervous system videos, and this goes into that a lot more in detail, so you can go and research that a little bit more there. But going back to this idea of what resources we have, external and internal, and writing those down so that we can see what we actually have in the workplace that allows us to succeed and be healthy is really important. And then we can create a list of demands that the workplace is giving to us as well. So again, we're getting this idea of this balance between resources and demands so that we can make sure that those resources outweigh those demands. So writing down those demands, and again, those could be very external demands, job responsibilities, things like that within the workplace that are required of us, systemic issues that happen in workplace culture issues that we find ourselves in, also our workplace demands. But demands can, again, also come internally from us, how we're talking about ourselves as an employee, how outcome driven we are, where we're needing to produce in order to achieve, in order to prove ourselves, and things like that that are internally, that are part of us, also are workplace demands. So we're going to have this list of resources within the workplace and for us as employees, and then demands for us within the workplace and for us as employees as well. And then we want to be really curious about what we can do to increase those resources so that the demands don't outweigh the resources. So again, this could be work that's done in therapy to help our internal sense of self and what we actually bring to the workplace. And sometimes there aren't things that we can do additionally for ourselves because the system is what it is. And so what are ways that you can be curious about changing something within the workplace? That might be working with people above you or HR to hire someone else so that the workload is spread out a little bit more, or changing job responsibility, taking something off your plate and assigning that to someone else. There's a number of different things. Again, I can only speak generally here. And again, we want to clarify where our worth is coming from as employees. So as long as our worth is coming from the outcomes of our job and what we achieve and how we succeed, that's going to be a lot of demand on us, and we don't have the resources to meet that. And to that end, I love Suzanne Stabille's question, what is mine to do? Because as long as we spend our time and our energy focused on what isn't ours to do, we push ourselves further and further towards burnout and away from the things that are healthy. We stack these demands on ourselves that are perceived demands that aren't actually real demands. So to be able to clarify what is mine to do, what's in my area of ownership and responsibility is really important. Our thoughts, our feelings, our emotions, our actions, and our reactions, our job responsibilities, these things are within our area of control. What other people think about me within the workplace environment is not within my control. And as long as I spend my time churning over what someone else is thinking about me, I'm actually taking energy and resources away from what is mine to do. Now, that's easier said than done. And again, I think that's where that internal work on ourselves is really important, and the work that we do in therapy is really important. But we really want to clarify what is ours to do within the workplace and make sure that we're setting those boundaries in healthy ways so that we preserve the resources for the demands and we don't have to spend our resources on things that are outside of our area of ownership or responsibility anyway. And then I really want to encourage you to understand what your values actually are. When we understand what our values are, we can engage in values-based decision making, and we can find workplace cultures that align with our values so that we don't have to betray ourselves when we show up in the workplace. And so I would encourage you can go online and just search for different lists of values and find your top 2 or 3 primary values and maybe 2 or 3 secondary values, and clarify what your values are as an employee. What are your values that you bring into the workplace? What do you need within the workplace in order to be healthy and to succeed, where your energy and your passion can really come out, where you can live life in a way that aligns with you? And when we go to work and we have to check our values at the door, that really can, again, push us further and further away from health and towards burnout. So these are just a few ways that you can begin to clarify some of the things that create a foundation for us as healthy employees and allow us to find healthy workplace cultures and systems that we want to really work in, that allow us to thrive and to keep us outside of the leg of compassion fatigue and bring us further into compassion satisfaction, where we can have the energy and passion that we feel meets our purpose and our values in life and allows us to engage in life as a healthy employee within a healthy workplace. So again, this is going to look different for everyone. There's no perfect formula for figuring this out. And I just, again, want to mention, it's really hard to figure out all of this because there's a lot of shades of gray. So I'm going to link a video below on healthy growth and behavior change. And partway through, I talk about Henry Cloud's rules for pruning. And I think that can clarify this shade of gray where we're trying to figure out what do we want to say yes to and what do we want to say no to, whether this is in the workplace or life in general, so that we're not cluttering our life with things that take energy away from the great in our life. If you are in a workplace and you feel like this conversation might be really helpful in a workshop or a seminar, I work with companies on that, and I can begin to outline these things further for your particular company and help to provide a way forward so that you can experience this transformation journey for yourselves as employees and creating healthy workplaces in general. So if you're interested in that, you can head to my website, Pullen & Associates Consulting, and there is a form that you can fill out so that we can begin working together and connecting and have a phone call to talk about ways forward. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram at Pullen & Associates, and my website, pullenandassociates.com, and make sure that you subscribe to this channel so that you won't miss out on future videos.